Hello everyone, this is C.W. Rose, a fantasy and romance author, and also the proud debut author of Oceansong, which released with Hey Hey Books in August 27th, 2024, with Hey Hey Books. It is an adult contemporary romantasy that is an Asian Romeo and Juliet meets The Little Mermaid, but set in the grittiness of the real world. So just as a quick blurb, 24-year-old aspiring marine biologist Angie Song has just returned to her Alaskan hometown for the summer to work at her family's docks. While she's there, she learns that fish are mysteriously vanishing from the sea, starving her small fishing village. When she investigates, she finds merfolk being responsible. Her family then declares war on the mer, which results in a brutal fight for control of the sea's resources. And in the midst of the conflict, she falls in love with the Mer Prince, putting everything and everyone dear to her in danger. So the chapter I'm going to read today, or the excerpt I'm going to read, I should say, is from chapter 3, which is actually one of my favorites to write, because this is kind of the pivotal point where Angie discovers that merfolk are indeed real. So up until this point, she knows of the missing fish, and she's seen a video of the mer, but she's not seen for herself whether they're real or not. So at the start of this chapter, she is actually back at the docks getting ready to go diving with a group of divers to see for herself if the mer are real. Okay. Yet the seawater rippled with angry waves. A strong wind gust barreled through and walloped her face. "Hey, what's that?" Stefan pointed to the water. The other divers crowded around them. A dark streak of scales appeared with two flowing transparent caudal fins. The boat rocked again, a violent wave smashing the hull, and Angie clung to the sides to keep her balance. The waters calmed once the tail vanished from sight. Angie drew her head back, covering her mouth with her palm. The other divers chattered in low murmurs. She sat, resting her hands on her lap, and took a deep breath so she wouldn't still be anxious when she started diving and burned through her oxygen too fast. The bumpiness and waves appeared when the mermaid, some other strange sea creature, appeared and calmed when it disappeared, as if it carried the turbulent waters on its back. She never heard of such a phenomenon. The sun and moon controlled the tides, not sea creatures. Curiosity and bewilderment rose. The boat slowed to a stop, and the captain killed the engine. Standing, the divers donned their tanks and congregated at the side of the boat. "Guess if that was a mermaid, here's our chance to find out," Stefan muttered from beside her. "Here we go." At the dive master's signal, they rolled backward and tumbled into the icy sea. Angie cracked the surface with a loud splash, screwing her eyes shut as icy hands surrounded her head and neck, squeezing with brute force. The ocean was an icebox surrounding her for the next several minutes, until her body acclimated to the deep freeze. Hanging weightlessly, she drifted sideways in tune with the current and bobbed with her breaths. They made the slow, uneventful journey into the depths. A brush of freeze seeped through her nape and grasped her entire body, and she clenched her jaw. The gentle splashing overhead faded into stillness until the only sound surrounding her was a rhythmic, soothing whoosh of air when she inhaled and exhaled. It was quiet, tranquil, peaceful. She reached out to brush the algae bed stroking her belly and legs as she swam by, and brushed away the stray plastic fragments and the occasional cigarette butt and chunk of fishing gear floating about. How she wished the ocean could return to its pristine majesty without the pollution. The desire to take action was what drove her to pursue marine biology. She checked her dive computer after descending further. It registered that they were at 450 feet, close to the depth where the divers allegedly saw mer. She made a sharp turn, trailing Stefan, and jotted down another mark on her dive compass, so she knew how to return to the boat. Her heart fluttered at the marginal possibility she'd see a mermaid. A seabed lay ahead, and nestled within the sand, a school of halibut flitted about. Curious eyes at the top of their heads peered at Angie and Stefan. A salmon shark sailed overhead, its silver and ivory body lithe and graceful, a floating dancer moving in tune with the flow and currents. More concerning, other fish were scarce. Salmon, whitefish, pikes, Arctic chars. Her shoulder hit a hard bump, and with numb fingers, she fumbled around to turn her flashlight on. It illuminated a gorgeous deep-sea coral formation, untouched by ocean acidification and warming. It showcased vivid oranges and pinks and reds fitted like a jigsaw puzzle. Thankfully, the coral was smooth. She would have hated to knock the branch off a spiny one. It would have hurt like hell, and she didn't want to contribute to Alaska's collapsing coral reef population. Tapping her, Stefan gestured in front of him. Human-like flesh zipped by with broad shoulders, slender fingers, and a strong back. A tail followed, the shape similar to what she saw in a video in docs, its color indiscernible in the crushing blackness. The creature turned around, a flash of maroon caught in her flashlight's soft glow. Angie froze as her mind caught up to what she was seeing. A merman. What the shit? Mer were real. So I'll leave it there. If you're interested in seeing more or reading more, Oceansong is now available wherever books are sold. And you can also give me a follow on any of my social media. I am at CWRoseAuthor on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads, and at CWRose813 on Twitter. Thank you for listening. Take care. Bye-bye.